In order to have a successful hunt in November, you must start to prepare in advance as early as March. Every year, we go to Ozona over Thanksgiving for our family tradition, but to make the trip one to remember, it takes lots of preparation to make sure your deer are healthy and that they're in the habit of walking into the feeders. This means filling the feeders, making sure nothing is broken, and getting a little bit of hunting in at the same time. So our story begins a few months before the trip. We wanted to get all the stuff done in the first couple days, so that way we had time to hunt in the last few. But when we got to the cabin, we were in for an unwanted surprise. Apparently, a town of rats called the cabin home for the past 3 months, and the evidence was everywhere. No matter where you looked, rat poop was on everything, which caused an unwanted spring cleaning. Everything with any trace of rat was thrown into bags and to be hauled off into town later that night. And when the cabin was completely stripped down to nothing, we had to find a place to spend the night.
Oh shoot, I need to get a water.
We got up nice and early and headed back out to get some work done. For most of the trip, we filled feeders, repaired anything that needed repairing, like retying the feeders to the fence or fixing the fence. Then we go check on the blinds, make sure they were in good condition, and make sure no animals were calling it home either. We would do this every day up until about 3 o'clock. After we had finished for the day, we would get some hunting in as well. We usually didn't hunt the feeders on these trips because we were working on them most of the day, so most of the animals were probably spooked. So we'd usually travel in large groups and walk the ridges hoping to see something move. There wasn't a lot to see in the spring. All deer were out of season, the only thing you could shoot were hogs and predators. But with the recent sign of mountain lion in the area, we all had that fire in our heart hoping we would be the one to end up shooting one of the big cats. But the closest thing we really got to it was this porcupine in a tree. But it was good to see an animal actually move. We hadn't seen one since we'd gotten down there, and it was really discouraging when you're hunting. So when we noticed not a lot of animals showing, we tended to just work a little bit more into the later afternoon. And this cut down on some hunting time, but we still got plenty in. But something we did really look forward to is in the afternoons when we take a break for lunch, we'd also hang out at the cabin and play a game such as wiffle ball. We'd do home run derby, we'd do a modified game so that way we could do one-on-ones where it was just pitching and hitting. That was a lot of fun, and it was absolutely fun to just crush a ball on your opponent.
Oh my gosh, that's another double.
Double. He's so big.
That was a
Bases
sliding
loaded.
triple, possibly.
What? Bases?
No, it's not bases loaded. Get an angle. Break checking me. There they go, way on the...
But every evening we made sure we'd go out and hunt even if we were exhausted.
No, they're not.
All dad.
Oh, dad, yep. I can see.
Two males.
And on one of the last days of the trip, it finally paid
Now
off.
you can see.
We were checking some ridges while we were driving, and to our surprise, 2 Aoudad were standing at the top of the ridge about 500 yards from the cabin. So when James and Jimmy saw them, they hopped out the car and they headed after them in hopes of bagging one. But in the end, we all went home empty-handed. To start the trip, we had to wait a few days before heading out. So while we were there, James managed to get himself a pig.
Let's go!
Come on, baby.
Let's go, first car smoking.
Hunter also managed to get himself a pig as well. It was no lie that the animals were moving this year, so we were excited to get down there. But we weren't expecting our first morning hunt on the trip to turn out like this.
Alright, good morning guys. Day one. Our morning hunt got cut really short today because about 15 minutes in we noticed some steam coming off with a weird sound. Turns out it was a gas leak. So we're going to head out pretty soon and go for a drive hunt. We're gonna both have the gun running each side, and hopefully we can get something. James and Hunter have already bagged them a couple of harvest, and now me and Wook are looking for some harvest here. Of course, it's only day one, but with a whole hunt short, that's gonna be need to cover some ground here. So we're gonna load up and we're gonna head back out and see if we can't get something.
It wasn't long until we came across our first animal, but when this young buck suddenly got spooked by something behind him, we knew something else was coming.
Pigs. For sure.
I've never seen a pig in broad daylight. Like, honestly, I've never just seen one midday, especially.
I have.
It's been a long
Especially
time.
driving.
Yeah, driving, you'll see them, you'll spook them up, but
In the cooler weather, they'll get out in the day more.
Yeah.
In the summer, in the heat, they'll stay put.
yeah, that's probably why. But yeah, they're probably moving back to bed down then, 'cause it's starting to warm up. All right, so we were driving here. We just had a couple pigs, like probably 6 or 8, run in front of the car. We shot at them. I think I missed high. Only got one shot off. We went and tracked, looked for a second opportunity. Didn't get one. Drove another 5, not even like 10 minutes. Big, super tall buck, just kind of runs. He's posted up right over here. We keep driving forward. Driver doesn't see him, but we're tracking him, and he finally stops and broadside in the open. So line up the shot, perfect shot, and he should be right down here. So let's go down here. JP's already down here.
Back at the pigs, we decided to walk down the cliff a little bit to see if we could still see them, if they were still kind of hanging out in this area. Of course, they were long gone, and with everything that happened and how fast it was, we assumed that we didn't hit one. There's no blood, there's no evidence that we had hit one. So we drove about 5 minutes later, and sure enough, this big trophy buck reveals to us, and I line up the shot, take it before Wook can even get out the camera and start recording. And sure enough, not far from where we hit him is where he laid.
Yeah, I don't think he's in.
Now with the deer tagged early, this gave us time to take it back and go back out to prepare for this evening hunt.
So a little trick we like to do is just get a bottle, put some corn in it, then pour molasses. A little bit. Once you fill it, about bust away the corn, a little bit of molasses, you gotta shake it up. So now you just pour it in a line from 2 feet from the feeder to really however far. A little hard to get out.
do that a few more times or just put more coin out.
We got ready and headed back out for the evening hunt in hopes of bagging 2 animals on the first day. We headed to the spot that we called Lemon Windmill because of the apparently huge windmill sitting there. But we know that this is a great spot that pigs like to come in and drink from and eat a lot of the local plants in the little area. And we had set up a feeder recently as well as a blind, and we're going to hunt this new blind and hopefully we can bag a pig. When we were spreading some corn with the molasses earlier, we had checked out this new blind because we had never seen it yet. And we were looking in the inside and we said, okay, this is probably big enough to fit all 3 of us. We'll bring an extra chair or 2 and it'll be good. But when we get there, things don't go as well as we had hoped. At least for me, because I had to sit on the floor. That was not fun. But apparently what I had heard is not a lot moved, maybe a couple doe here and there, and a lot of birds. Wook is looking to break the curse and find an animal for himself while JP and I are working the cameras. After Wook gets a shot on a pig, we're left with the task of finding where it went off to. But while we were searching for the blood, we had an unexpected visitor.
A mountain lion just gave off this big old, roar. I mean, textbook roar. I'll probably play a clip, but oh my gosh, that one chills you to the bone. Last night we had, as I said, we had a mountain lion while we were searching for a pig, kind of do this little, its roar. Then not even 5 minutes after I recorded that video, I'm searching on the ground for pig sign, and you can hear that thing growl at us. And we're gonna take all 6 of us and we're gonna go sit the ridge for a couple hours, maybe 2. So stay tuned. We'll see if we can get ourselves a mountain lion.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring.